But I am so excited to have a conversation. Jenifer Lewis, who I will refer going forward as Miss Lewis, because I've had so much respect and regard for her work. And really, Miss Lewis, your activism, and if I can be honest with you, how you hold your space and how you lean into your authenticity and who you are in a time period where everyone is trying to figure out who they are and allowing social media and hashtags and likes to define them. And yet, who you are walking in your joy, a new collection of essays that you have penned. And I'm so excited to take the journey with you. A few
Thank you.
moments, if I can, if that's okay, Ms. Lewis.
Oh, honey, let's go. I'm raring to go.
Ms. Lewis, I mean, I've always wondered about your confidence, right? Had that always been in you? Where do you draw from with that just sheer confidence? And we all know everyone has bad days, right? But like, where does that come from?
I would say it came from my mother, actually. I had a very difficult childhood. We were very poor, and all of the dysfunction that comes with poverty was there in my home. But one thing my mother did was she got sick of white people coming to her door. Back in those days, they would literally come to your door and into your house to see if the male, the husband, was present. They tore Black families up back then with things like that. The father couldn't be present because he should have been working, which would take you off welfare. My mother was a gangster. She scrubbed white people's toilets, you understand. So what she did was she went and got her certificate to become a nurse's aide so those white people wouldn't come in her house anymore and tell her what to do. So I watched her go from welfare to working to feed us, you see. So when she did that, it taught me work ethics. My mother did not play. She was abusive, but she did not play. She made sure we all got master degrees. All 7 of us had masters of her children. We were the Lewises. We were going to be productive citizens in the world. We were not going to be poor all our lives. We all went to college. My mother put out high school diplomas, college diplomas, masters, and now I have my honorary doctorate. So my mother did not play, and I watched her do that. So that is the one thing she gave me, confidence and determination. I wanted to quit college. She came out there to my campus, honey. She said, no, you will not. I was like, damn, okay. Because, I wanted to come to New York and be a star. But I listened to my mother in that way, and I did get my confidence. Nobody's ever asked me that, where I got my confidence. I got it from my mother.
I love that story, Ms. Lewis. And there's just so much of that to unpack. Just starting where you began with the homes and the fathers and taking out, and how the government and systems always systematically took the Black man out
Yes,
of the home
yes.
in order for the Black woman to receive services and assistance and aid that was greatly needed. And so there's always a disruption of the home, starting from the federal government, starting with HUD, Department of the Agency in DC. But really also too, what's striking me, and I'm just curious then, is this where you kind of lean into your activism? But before I lean into your activism, salute to your mom. And I think gone are the days now where unfortunately sometimes children grow up to see parents who work and the value of work and the value of a strong work ethic.
Well,
And I
I'll
think
tell you how amazing my mother was. One guy came, an old white man came to the house, stepped in the door and saw a piano that had been given to my mother by one of the white families that she worked for, which is where I got my talent to this day. He came in there, he saw that piano and said these words to my mother: "How can you afford a piano, nigga?" No, baby, I knew. I was standing there with my thumb in my mouth. I went cross-eyed because I knew he was in trouble. My mother went and got the bucket that we would use, we would pee in with toilet paper, because we'd have to go out to the outhouse to poop, you see. My mother took that bucket and threw it in that white man's face. It was all over his suit, all over his face, the toilet paper. So, I mean, I know that's not the way to settle things, but damn, I loved her for that, calling us a nigger in her own house. My mother didn't play, honey. She said, I'll scrub your floors, but you will not disrespect me. And I watched that. You got to understand. Yes. That's what I saw. Mm-hmm. That's why I don't fuck around to this day. Don't come for me. I'm out here trying my best to lead with love. I'm out here trying to bring the next generation together so they don't lose all of their rights. I don't want my great nephews to be hunted because of the color of their skin. There are things that are really turning around and twisted in this country. And I will be on the front line. I told Michelle Obama that when I campaigned for Obama when he was still a young senator. I will be on the front line. And I still am. And I will be here. And I have told these millennials, you will not leave me out there by myself. You will not have let my life been in vain. You will not. No more than I am letting Mandela. I know whose shoulders I'm standing on. That's where the confidence comes from. It comes from Gandhi. It comes from Rosa, Harriet. So I acknowledge my nephews. I tell these people, they say, Miss Lewis, how do you walk in your joy? Well, the first thing you have to do is get up. And if you can't get up, sometimes when I can't get up, I have to tug on Sojourner Truth's skirt and say, help me, girl, help me. And when I get up, if I need Frederick Douglass to help me make another step, then I call on him. We cannot let what they did for us be in vain.
I think our childhood had so many defining moments, Ms. Lewis, and those words are so powerful. I'm just curious. I never asked a guest this before, but in that moment when that white man came and said, how can a nigger afford a piano like this? And you saw your mom's reaction. Do you think that was in that moment a seed was planted in you that led to this incredible life of activism that you had? Can you point to a singular moment, or is it just a collective?
You know, when I graduated from college, I came to New York with no fear in me. I found out later that that mania was a part of having bipolar disorder. I was depressed the first 35 years of my life. My house is colorful. My friends are loyal now. I don't let people willy-nilly in my life. I don't have time. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a priest. I'm not any of that. My name is Jenifer Lewis, and I walk and live on purpose. I have learned how to do that. I write my life down the night before, and what's at the top is what's going to make me happy. But what is bothering me? What's making my soul chaotic right now? So if you write what's good first, and then you write the dumb shit, you'll have something to balance and bring it back to a level, which is why I went into therapy. It was at the height of the AIDS epidemic. I lost 200 people that I knew, and we were not supposed to experience that kind of death at that age. So we didn't know what to do with it. So that's when I really became an activist. My babies were dying. So we started a Divas for Dollars. It was one of the first fundraisers for AIDS because it hit the a musical theater community right away. The entire chorus of Dreamgirls passed away. Every day the phone rang, dead, dead, dead. And it just, I had a nervous breakdown. A girlfriend that I respected very much, and just let me throw this in. Everybody keep friends around you that will tell you that your boyfriend is an asshole, ergo the con artist, if you want to go into that. But I want to get back to that one thing I was talking about. I hope you remember. I always have to veer off to say that. But the bottom line, whatever I was saying, it's the same story.
No. I asked you a question. No, you're right. Everything you're saying, you're still in thought. I would ask you about the moment of activism. Was it when the gentleman came,
Yeah,
or the man came,
yes,
or was it?
It was the AIDS epidemic.
Yeah.
And yes, my girlfriend said something's wrong, and I was like, honey, I'm Jenifer Lewis, ain't nothing wrong with me. But it was, and I got in therapy and stayed in therapy. I had to be re-raised because when my mother had me, I was her 7th child and she was 26. Now, how much time do you think she had to be affectionate? So I missed that piece, but I gathered myself. I wanted to pursue happiness. I wanted to enjoy the fruits of my labor. You don't write 2 books and then keep doing the same shit you did. There has to be progress. There has to be faith and hope and courage. And these are the things I lean toward, honey. I don't know what it is. My therapist called it soldiers inside of me. I've been an alpha since high school, president of my class, captain of the cheerleading squad. You don't just go willy-nilly after that, clawing at the void. Who am I? What am I supposed to do? What makes you happy? There has to be something. Then work toward that until you find that next thing. Life will unfold once again if you just get your ass out of bed.
Yeah, is that where now? This is so fascinating. I gotta be honest with you. I love this conversation go naturally. I don't have anything pre-planned. I'm a big energy guy, and I just love where this energy is leading and moving. And your conversation is leading us. I'm just thinking about now the inspiration behind, walking my joy, hearing you talk about the moment of activism occurred during the AIDS epidemic, and you getting a call every day that the chorus line or friends of yours is dying. Fast forward to the last 3 to 4 years, we went into this pandemic of COVID, and we saw so many deaths occurring around us. And then we saw like this racial reckoning. It seems like you've always been at the center. And I just say at the center because as the public figures, we all had a certain responsibility if we owned it during the racial reckoning, during the pandemic, seeing individuals die and pass away.
COVID was a time that if you didn't look in the mirror, shame on you, because we sure had time to do it. I tell people, you want to see the face of God, look in the mirror. You want to hear the voice of God, hush. Sit your ass under a tree. Even if a dog peed under there, sit your ass down and find some peace inside of your soul and stop all this chaotic madness. Everybody's so impatient now. Well, the world is in mourning. Stop all that fighting and acting a damn fool out in the streets. You don't know how many people that person lost during COVID. I just got back from Cambodia. The main strip was boarded up. The entire world is in mourning. My guide said to me, at any given time at Angkor Wat, you don't know what it is, look it up. No. There would be 7,000 people there. The day I went, there were 400. The world is in mourning. We have to be patient with one another. I believe in mankind, young man. Yeah. We're going to be all right. But if you little kids don't vote, y'all going to be in. See, I've lived my life. And I've had a fabulous one. You guys want to live the American dream as I did? Then do the work. And my vote don't count. Oh, yes, it does, darling. We're going to have to come off the Pacific in a blue wave as tall as the Alps to win this one. Because they know this is their last stance. But baby, they're more brown. They're more brown people. And if we don't unite, they will take this motherfucker over. And there will be no freedom of speech. I wish you would. Y'all better watch Handmaid's Tale, because that's what they want. You better study Auschwitz, because that's what they want. You better study the Civil War, because, I don't know if they're going to be brave enough and not be cowards and have the battles out on the field. Those days are over. That shit is coming into every city, every state. These people are not fucking around. They think this land is theirs. It is not. You stole it, you raped, you pillaged, and there's a price for that. How the fuck everything else is going to have consequences, and that's not. And this country will not heal until somebody say, I'm sorry.
That part.
Indeed.
When you think about you hit on something so poignant, and I'm not going to keep you. I know your time is limited with me, but you hit on something about the freedom of speech. And I always say, Ms. Lewis, that our democracy is fragile. Our democracy is a gentleman's agreement. Our democracy isn't constitutional. And when we don't participate in this space of democracy, then that is when it is fragile and comes undone, and then it goes into the hands of others.
Darling,
who vote and who make sure.
I never thought in a million years I would be going around quoting the Constitution. We have a right to pursue happiness. All of us. We all bleed. If COVID didn't teach us one thing, if one of us is sick, we're all sick.
Yeah.
It's time to do our best to show this generation that we care about them. We care that their children's children will have air to breathe. We care that there will be some gun laws before they grow up and they won't have to run into a bullet on their way to school. We owe the next generation. We lived in a country of peace for many, 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 many years. Yes, the United States has its fucked up problems, but there are no bombs dropping yet. Okay? So we need to sit up and recognize how fragile democracy is. Dear God, y'all, baby, reiterate that over and over again, over and over and over. Climate change is real. Science exists, contrary to popular fucking belief from those crazy motherfuckers. And I want to say this, January 6th, they forgot who built that building. They forgot that the quality of the windows in the Capitol are not the same quality as the ones in your trailer. You dumb bastards. Nobody told you on that tour on January 5th that you were going to have to go get that police barrier to break that fucking window while somebody filmed you doing it. So wake up. It's a new day. And I'm on the front line with mental illness, climate change, COVID. It's not over either. Stop acting like it is. Here comes the flu season. We don't know what's going to happen. So act like you know and wear your mask or it's your ass.
Ooh, Miss Lewis, I could think of a more powerful place to stop this conversation, and I look forward to continuing. You are a national treasure. I just want to thank you for the gifts that you bring to our society, both acting and your thespian ability. You're a scene stealer. And also too, thank you for your gift of activism. It is unmatched. I just never seen it's rare you see somebody speak with such authenticity, and I think that's what it shows, and that's how movement happen. And I will be remiss, ladies and gentlemen, if
be hunted because of the color of their skin. We should be past that shit.
Absolutely. Ms. Lewis, thank you so much. Please, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go get the book, Walking in My Joy. It's a collection of essays.
Oh, and the Audible of Walking in My Joy is flying off the shelf because everybody loves my voice. So go get the book, Walking in My Joy.
With that being said, I'm about to download it now because your voice is incredible. So for you to read what you wrote, man, let me get my popcorn and my wine right now as we speak. Ms. Lewis, I love you. Thank you for everything. I look forward to having you come back on the Mike and You show.
Thank you, love.
Okay, take care. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lewis. Thank you.
Thank you.